In this video, we're going to start the Aconcagua climb by dropping off our stuff in Penitentes and then hiking to Confluencia. So the climb of Aconcagua starts in Penitentes in most cases if you got logistics partners such as HOEAAS, because their headquarters are in Penitentes. You drop off your bags, they put those bags on some mules. If you have a really good one, they'll allow you to have one bag go to Confluencia and the other one go to Plaza de Mulas. So you need to have a bag that is, has your tent and your sleeping apparatus, and then another one with your high altitude stuff, such as your double boots. All right, so we're at the permit office. We're gonna show them our permit, and hopefully we'll get to start walking. In the permit office, you'll get your permit stamped, and you'll also get your trash bag and poop bag for the upper mountain. So you'll be issued a number. In fact, those bags, if you hire a high altitude porters, your porters will carry those down as you do loads. But if you don't have high altitude porters, you're going to have to keep those with you your whole time while you're on the upper mountain. This guy next to me is a little overdressed. It's a little faded too. Maybe it's a woman actually. It's a very tall woman if it is. If you need some last minute sunblock or some lighters, that's the place to get it. They actually have decent provisions too if you're kind of really short on provisions. It's worth buying them. Start of the hike. Yay! All right, I'm at almost 3,000 meters. It's somewhere between 2,800 or 2,900 meters. My watch says 9,500, and this is the start of the hike. So I arrived in Argentina, let's see, 3 days ago. So I spent, actually, no, 2 days ago. So I think I've only spent 2 nights in Argentina. So this is a day earlier than I planned. I would have taken the extra day of acclimatization in Penitentes, but because of the 300 hours I spent in the Norma Barrick generator, I think I should be okay for Confluencia. That was only a week when I stopped the simulated altitude work. So we'll see how that goes, but you can tell the air is thinner here. It seems like the trail splits off. This is the Mirador for folks that have kind of the less expensive permits, the non-summit permits. And I saw the Incas going, the Inca party going forward. So I'll walk for a little bit. I made a mistake because I was not sure if I would be able to stay at this hotel or not. I kind of filled up on water while I could with good water. They tell you not to drink the water in the hotel, but I saw one of their big water jugs open. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to get it until in the morning, but I filled up all my water bottles. And I thought I would spend another night in Penitentes because they said I needed an extra day, but to get the bag to Confluencia. But they say that they can put it on the mule, and the mule will be there in about 2 hours, or by 2 p.m. It's about 11 p.m. or I'm sorry, 11 a.m. right now. So, Grajales didn't open until 8:30 a.m. so I couldn't start talking to them until then, and then we had to decide on that, and then the checkout at Hotel Aylan is 10. So I was actually kind of racing to get that done. Say I'm not super happy with the sightage so far. So I'm just not sure if I'm going to the lookout point, the Mirador, or if I'm on the trail to Horcones and to Confluencia. I haven't seen a Confluencia sign anywhere. So maybe it's all on the same trail, but I got the impression that it was not. So I may be like hiking to the Mirador, even though there was a sign that basically said leave the road, and it just pointed. Not very helpful, but there you go. Hopefully it's just obvious. All right, it seems like the Mirador is not that much of a detour, so I think that you just get back on the trail again. You get a view of the trails too, and it's kind of a crazy quilt of trails. And I don't see any signs. So after you get to the Mirador, then they're going to get rid of the logs. So hopefully all the trails lead to the same place, I guess. I mean, I got the map, and the map didn't say that there were several different trails. I got two maps. None of them said that. All right, so if Confluencia is 3,300 meters, that's about 10,600 feet, and that's about 800 more vertical feet. I'm really puzzled by the sign behind me, which says 3 hours, because basically Nico, the guy that drove me from Grajales' logistics headquarters to the park entrance and the permit office, and then to the trailhead. He said it was 2 hours to Confluencia, but this sign says 3 hours. It would be nice if they just gave us kilometers, then we could make our own calculation of how fast we should be, but they don't do that. The good news is the crazy quilt did seem to all come together, and I did see another party, another guided group go through, so I'm on the right trail. But maybe 3 hours away. It's about noon here, a little after noon. I'm only 1.5 miles in. I think it's 4 miles. 4 miles, 800 vertical feet. For me, that should be, a little under 3 hours. So we'll see. Okay, so the sign says frequency of the guards or the guides or the rangers. I don't know. Garden Park. 142.8. So you need kind of a special VHF, not a marine VHF that you can tune it in megahertz. They gave me one. I actually bought one for use above base camp, but I get to use this one below base camp. That is Grajales. Not sure what I was gonna do with it, but you're supposed to be able to call them. So I think this is the bridge that was built for 7 years in Tibet. This is also about the 2 mile mark, a little over 2 miles. And it's the end of the track where a 4x4 vehicle could come. I think they only allow rescue vehicles or rangers using this. So, but after this bridge, I don't think they can get a car across the Horcones River. The suspension bridge, I think it's the 7 Years in Tibet bridge. It has a lot of give to it, but it's really, really wide. I wonder if the donkeys go, or the mules go on the bridge, or they take the river crossing. I suspect they prefer the river. Alright, this is the second type of waterfall type crossing we've had. Not too difficult, but you could get your feet wet. When we got around the headland here, we were able to see Confluencia camp finally. You can't see it until you get up to about a half mile from it or less. I'd say we're probably about a quarter mile from it. Okay, so I made it to Confluencia. It was about 5 miles on my watch. I'll check my altitude in a second, but not the 4 miles rated. It also is a little higher than what they said at the permit office. It's 3,400. I'll have to get out my map and check to see what the rated distance and elevation was on the map. I think maybe they just had an old map, or it was the old Confluencia. They do move these camps to avoid the avalanches. I'm a bit worried right now. We shall see, but I have not seen a donkey pass me. Certainly not one with my, I think I saw some donkeys going the other direction, but not passing me. I saw lots, or not donkeys, but mules. I've actually seen a lot of mules, but I'm not sure I've seen one pass me, and certainly not with my bag, and that worries me. But maybe, maybe it just went a slightly different route and I missed it. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that I have a bag tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be a really cold night. All right, we got this tent set up. It was nice. Grajales made a very high-class snack, like a very expensive restaurant. I have a dome eating place to myself. The bag came a little bit later than I did, but not too late, and so we get to sleep in the bed. We won't have to sleep in the bunk beds. They did offer to let me sleep in the bunk beds, but I wanted to practice on the tent before I got into some really windy conditions. I think my take on like the tent pitching, the ground is really rocky and hard, so it's really hard to drive tent stakes. So that's why you see the rocks. You're mostly pitching it on rocks. The hardest part for the way this tent is, the four corners of it, it's not as good with rocks as the guy lines. But I think it'll be okay for today, and it was a good first start. Tomorrow we'll probably just walk down that path to Plaza Francia, but not all the way. Just for a little acclimatization and to get out of the boredom of camp life. So the Wi-Fi here in Confluencia is amazing. I've been running YouTube videos all day. It's because they have Starlink. So that's a Starlink receiver here. But not just the food is good, not just the restrooms are also just amazing. Does not feel like camping. Very glamping today. I'm sure it's going to get much harder, especially once we get above base camp.